All right, let's try this again. All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. All right, welcome to another Shabbat class with Echad Malkut Ministries. Toda Rabbah to the Most High Yah and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach, Yehoshua, Malek, for allowing us to see another holy Shabbat day where we can come together in fellowship, where we can come together in rest, where we can come together through the Ruach to praise Yah in all our ways. Okay? All right, so before we get started, we do have a few announcements we want to make. The first one, again, is next Shabbat we will be in Cleveland, Ohio. So the Shabbat class will be held at Elder, the Dias house, Aquarian the Dias house, and then we'll be right back here next 2 weeks. Also, as we close out, for some of us, the Feast of Pesach, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the next holy convocation will be the Feast of First Fruits, okay? So that we need to start planning on that. That'll be May 20th, that's a Sunday, okay? So usually after the Unleavened Bread, 50 days after is the First Fruit, so we need to start planning for that. Also, coming up, as some of y'all know, me and my Isha will be taking a trip to Israel, to the land of Israel, which will be May 23rd through June 10th. So we're asking for any alms or donations to go towards it as we travel back to our home. And hallelujah, hallelujah. Also, each and every Sunday, our brothers and elders at Atlanta Harvest will be doing a day for volunteer work. Now the hours are between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. where you can go as pretty much at any time you want between those hours, but we're asking all the Hebrews in Atlanta to put their hands to the plow and help out and do some service work as we're going towards building our nation. Hallelujah. So make sure y'all do reach out and go help. Last one is brother Abi Shalom. Brothers, if y'all can help him move, he's actually moving. Found a place. Finally, all praise to the Most High. Right? My brother was, kind of struggling to find it, but through the Most High, he found his place. So we want to make sure you help our brother out in this time of need. All right. So what we're going to do is start our prayer and worship with going to Psalms, Telehim, chapter 30, verses 1. All right. If everybody can stand up and face Jerusalem. Make sure y'all turn so we can all read together. Okay? Okay? Hallelujah.
Telehim, chapter 30, verse 1, and we will say this together. Okay? Okay. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 1. I will exalt thee, O Yehovah, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Yehovah, my Elohim, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Yehovah, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto Jehovah, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth for the moment, and in his anger is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. In my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Jehovah, by thy favor thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou hast hidden my face, I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Jehovah. Unto Jehovah I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Jehovah, and have mercy upon me. Jehovah, be thou my helper. Thou hast turned from me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee, and not be silent, O Jehovah, my Elohim. I will give thanks unto thee forever. Hallelujah.
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 All right, we're now going to Exodus chapter 20. We'll be reading the 10 Commandments. Hallelujah. So Exodus chapter 20. We'll be reading the 10 Commandments. Y'all can repeat after me. King? 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 These are the 10 Commandments. My zone. Commandment 1. Thou shalt not have no other Elohim before me.
Thou shalt not have no other Elohim before me.
Let's try it again. Commandment 1. Thou shalt not have no other Elohim before me.
Thou shalt not have no other Elohim before me.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image,
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image,
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above,
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above,
or that is in the earth beneath,
or that is in earth beneath,
or that is in the water underneath.
or that is in the water underneath.
Thou shalt not take the name of Jehovah thy Elohim in vain.
Thou shalt not take the name of Jehovah.
For Jehovah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
For Jehovah will not hold him guiltless to take his name in vain.
Remember the Shabbat day,
Remember the Shabbat day,
to keep it holy.
to keep it holy.
Honor thy father and thy mother,
Honor thy father and thy mother,
that thy days may be long upon the land,
that thy days may be long upon the land,
which Jehovah thy Elohim giveth thee.
which Jehovah thy Elohim giveth thee.
Thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not murder.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife,
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife,
nor his manservant,
nor his manservant,
nor his maidservant,
nor his maidservant,
nor his ox,
nor his ox,
nor his ass,
nor his ass,
nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
By Shem and Mashiach Yehoshua.
Hashem and Mashiach.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High God. All praise to the Most High God.
Yes.
Hallelujah. I'll say the people after you do.
Okay. O Most High, He who is wonderful and merciful, who loads us with benefits this day, we thank you for allowing us to once again commune with you by way of your word, by way of your Shabbat, by way of your set apart day. Surely this is when you cease from all your works, when you created everything under the heavens, in the heavens, and beneath the heavens. And this is the day that you have ended from and ceased from all your labors. And this is the day where you commanded all of your creation to cease its works this day. Oh yeah, we thank you. We give you so much honor and glory for what you are doing in this small group of people. But most of all, Father, even above that, we give you glory for what you are doing throughout all of Israel, through the four corners of the earth. We ask you for that you will just give us a heart, a receiving spirit, Father, a circumcised heart to be receptive of your word that is going to go forth today. We thank you for the teacher, oh Yah. But before we can even give thanksgiving, oh Yah, we ask that you would forgive us of our shortcomings, where we have fallen short of your greatness and your glory and the standard that you have set for us, oh Yah. That standard that will place us above every nation, Father, where we will be as a light that was on a hill, oh Yah. We have fallen short of that glory, Father, the standard that you have set, the covenant that you have made with our fathers. We ask you not only for the forgiveness of our transgressions, but for the transgressions of our fathers that were before us, oh Yah. That has put us in this very predicament we are in right now, where we are spread to the four corners of the earth, scattered and castaways from home. And so right now, y'all, we ask, Father, that there is so much dissension in Israel. There are so many different doctrines. There are so many beliefs and thoughts and concepts and ideas on what you are saying in the one book. So, y'all, we just ask, Father, that we don't add to the confusion, Father, but somehow, some way, a Makut will bring a part that will bring unity to the whole body and to the whole kingdom of Israel. Hallelujah. So please, oh Yah, this day, Father, we ask that this, even as the word is being disseminated by Moray, Mikael, we ask, Father, that your ruach will be coupled with the words of his mouth. Hallelujah. As he brings forth the word, oh Yah. And we ask that it would edify the saints today. And somehow, some way, it will draw them closer to you. Let it spark and let it prick and let it convict someone from the greatest to the least of us, oh Yah. Oh, let us all yield before your dabar, your ruach. Let us circumcise our hearts even in this moment, oh Yah. Give us ears that we might hear and eyes that we might see. We beseech you, oh Father. In the name of Yehoshua HaMashiach we pray. Hallelujah. And it is so. Amen.
Amen. Repeat after me in the Hebrew tongue. For the Most High commanded us to lift our voice as a trumpet, not only to our people, but unto him, so that he may hear our cry. Hallelujah.
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 Abinu.
Abinu.
Sheba Shemayim.
Sheba Shemayim.
Hikwadesh.
Hikwadesh.
Shimka.
Shimka.
Tabo.
Tabo.
Makuteka.
Makuteka.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah, I say.
Rezonka.
Rezonka.
Keba Shemayim.
Keba Shemayim.
Gamba Adis.
Gamba Adis.
Tein Lanu.
Tein Lanu.
Et Lekum.
Et Lekum.
Zarkanu.
Zarkanu.
Hayom.
Hayom.
Umuka.
Umaka.
Lanu Et.
Lanu Et.
Kovoteni.
Kovoteni.
Kemoshika.
Kemoshika.
Anaknu.
Anaknu.
Makalnu.
Makalnu.
Lakayavienu.
Lakayavienu.
Waatavienu. Ladeni Sion. Ella. Hati Lenu. Minara. Kishalka. Hihamaku. Wahagabora. Wahatafera. Leome. Olami. Now we say it in the English together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. By Hashem Yahushua. Amen. Repeat after me. Baruch atah Yehoah. Baruch atah Yehoshua. Baruch atah Yehoah. Baruch atah Yehoshua. Todah Rabbi Yehoah. Todah Rabbi Yehoshua. Mashiach. Yehoshua. Amen. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Awesome prayer. Awesome prayer. All right, y'all. Today, I think it's definitely gonna be short and sweet, but I think it's necessary. I think we need to get back to understanding, Hebrew thought, right? Hebraic understanding. I just want to say, man, Todah Rabbi Yehoah, man, these last few months, last 5-6 months has been crazy. But great crazy, right? A lot of growth, a lot of understanding. I'm a firm believer in prayer. When you pray for something and you manifest it in your mind, and you put out that vibrations to the earth and to Yah, he feeds you back. He puts you around the right people if you're sincere with what you're praying for. And I believe that he's been doing that with the brothers here at Akkad Makut. You know, we got a new young brother, LaShawn, you know, who's been seeking knowledge. And man, most told her about for Yehovah, man, because he's waking up. He's waking up the young people, man. He is truly waking up the young amongst us, man. He said our daughters and our sons shall prophesy, right? Out of the mouth of babes, right? Hallelujah. So, with that, right? With that, when it comes to babes, when it comes to people in the truth who have not come from structure, when we call them to come into when Yah calls them to come to this day, he expects us to have some type of structure ready for him. So today's lesson is called the State of Tribalism. Like I said, it's going to be short and sweet, but we got to have to understand it, man. We have to understand what truly is priority when it comes to nation building and nationhood, man. And understand, everybody got their part. But we got to stop trying to put our hand in parts that it don't belong in. Okay? All right, so I'm going to ask each and every one of you this question. I really want y'all to think about it. I really want y'all to answer to the best of your ability. What does tribe mean to you? We can start with you. What does tribe mean to you?
I'm going to say what clique, but like, I guess what unit you're with, what family or section of a whole that you are a part of. For example, the 12 tribes of Israel, but they're broken up into sections or tribes.
Okay.
So like what section you are within a whole.
Right, right. Is that Queen?
There's variations in you got there's different ways of expressing what a tribe is. Europeans tend to call them clans, but they tend to be like families of families, right, that split off. I mean, of course, they create different families, but usually they'll have some type of patriarchal or some type of leadership that's over that family, and then through marriage and through different bondings, there's divisions that start, and it's really from a unit of families and distinctions of families, but tend to grow into a tribe by way of marriage, by way of vows, by way of socializing, by ways of commonality. Tribes are manifested.
Hallelujah. Perfect. What about you? The hard. The other man.
Tribe probably is like a group of people. I think more so like an ethnic group, or like a certain group of people in the ethnicity. More like, I don't want to say kosher, but like, that's why I really think it is.
Okay.
More like a whole group, and different tribes, different ethnicities.
Gotcha. Mina?
I would say a group of people that are like-minded, that follow a certain tradition, a certain culture. Because people have tribes that aren't even like really generally tribes like we know it. Like there's groups of people where it could be for business or spirit, and they call themselves a tribe because they come together in a really strong bond to go towards that goal or the whatever topic they're supporting. So I think it's a group of people that have a strong support behind whatever their lifestyle or the goal that they're trying to accomplish.
I'm going to say that answer was perfect within itself. I'm going to say you're right, but the part of your answer is for something else, not distinctly tribe. I'm going to show you, but you were right. All y'all are actually right. So the definition of tribe is a social division in a traditional society consisting of families, like I said, right, or communities linked by social. Now, watch these key words: social, economic, religious, or blood ties with a common culture and dialect, which typically having a recognized leader. I'm gonna say it again. What links this tribe is social, economical, or religious or blood ties with a common culture and dialect. Now, out of those four things, will we be considered at this? I'm talking about this time, not what was created then, but this time, how we're set up as a nation right now. Well, do we have all four of those characteristics?
Yes.
No. Are we social?
Very social.
Very social. Within ourselves? A little bit. I would say a little bit. Do we have economics as a nation? Right? Of course, we're not religious. You got the blood ties. Right?
Like blood ties, you know, we suffer. And why I say we like the blood ties, because in a lot of instances within tribalism, in order to really create true tribalism, you would have to have that connection where families are intentionally marrying children one to another. We have that, and we allow through modern socialism and through integration, we raise our children to marry whoever they want. You know, without any purpose or intent. It's always this emotional based thing. Right?
Gotcha. Hallelujah. Right? And you made some very great points. And now with that being said, what is tribalism? It's a big difference between tribe and tribalism. What do y'all think tribalism is? Just guess. Ain't nothing wrong. Huh?
A practice?
Practice.
Basic same thing, kind of like ritual, probably.
But in the sense of what the word mean, I'll take it.
Tribalism to me would be more where people are attempting to act like a tribe, but it's very pseudo. It's not. It doesn't have all those components, but it's usually people may come together for some auspicious reasons, very superficial reasons, like gang banging or whatever. But there's really no tenets or laws that really bind them together. So tribalism can really come out of anything, but not necessarily rooted in anything.
Okay. What you?
Yeah, I think it can be something that is constructed in a way to come up with a common ground in anything, not even just what's this ground that we're dealing with.
Right. Now watch this. A tribe is to be. Whether you follow or not, you are that. Right? Tribalism is acting. Right? Acting to be. You're actually carrying out the traditions of that tribe. Tribalism. This is a definition. The state or fact of being organized in a tribe or tribes. The behavior and attitude that stems, what you say, that stems from strong loyalty for one's own tribe or social group. Can we say we are a tribalism people at this time? Not at all. Why would we say that? Why are we not a tribalism people? I mean, I can tell you the most common. I can tell you the most common is we can't even come together and keep and memorialize the feast days. Right? We can't come to a common ground about how the household's supposed to be ran. You got even some who walk in the faith, and because they have a split home, don't teach their children. And I'm not talking about by you forced not to. I'm talking about you making a choice not to. we're a dysfunctional family. So of course you have to have a tribe to establish tribalism. So we're going to go through this today and see what tribalism is. Because now we have come across that the only tribalism we can have is street teaching. And that's not the case. Matter of fact, before there was ever even prophets, we had what? Tribes. We had farmers. We had true politics. Right? We had established families. So, when the word say in the beginning was the word and the word was with Yah, right? For us to understand the establishment of Yisrael or Yasha'Allah, we have to go back into the beginning where everything was good. We have to go back into the beginning where we had pure riches, where people knew who we were. Right? I want to get this real quick to make this very clear. Right? So the key words in that definition, right, was loyalty and organized. These are the behaviors that we tend to not have in today's organizations. Let me just call it what that is. Organizations, right? So when you look at the state of Israel, we don't exemplify tribalism at all. Right? And I say that because we have instances. Now I'm going to use my words very wisely because I know people are sensitive of this, right? But the NOI, when the situation happened with the brother Nipsey, again, I'm not sticking up for the brother. I just want to point out organization. Those brothers came out as an organization, held hands, and marched through the hood together and showed unity and bringing the people. Now, of course, we know that religion is folly. We know that's wicked. This is not. We're not supposed to be a part of that, right? But the point is, what did they show? They showed love for their people and organization. Now, imagine if Israel were to do that, and we got the truth, right? So-called, we got the truth, right? But a lot of us spend too much time on social media trying to bash what people is doing rather than doing it ourselves. We want to bash Brother Nick because he was Eat-Tree, right? And Kelly made music and all this, but at the end of the day, whether he was a heathen or an Israelite, he did for the people. Whether that was in servitude or in brotherhood, he did for the people. So the question is not to memorialize him at all. The question is, what are you going to do about it that's different? How are you taking back your neighborhood? How are you fixing up your neighborhood? It's not the man I'm looking at. I'm looking at the act. Where this man was trying to establish some type of tribalism with the neighborhoods and gangs in that area. And that's where Israel has to sit back, examine ourselves, and say, what are we doing to establish order and tribalism within ourselves? Rather than causing division, we got this camp, this assembly. What are we doing to say, let's come together, not just to gather, but to actually establish some type of functionality that we can start having programs and setting up shop for those who we want to enter into the house of Yah. 1 Corinthians 14-40. It's
the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be done decently in order, man. We have lost the order, first and foremost, of what it is to be a man. When you grow up, what's the first thing you need to be learning about? Anybody can guess. What's the first thing you should be learning? What?
Responsibility.
And what's usually a man's first responsibility?
Chores.
Chores, right? I'm talking about after he's outside of the house. Job, provision. But the ultimate goal before anything else is what? He needs to know how to order a family. Right? That's why we have children doing chores. Learn how to manage and be responsible in this area, because they have to learn how to what? Take care of their house. When they're not with their parents, they got to learn how to take care of their house. And that's a lot of the things that we're missing within our community is there's no structure on how to raise a man. There's no structure on what it is to truly be a man. We're raising up soldiers before family men. And then they take that mentality and bring it to the house with their Isha. And wondering why Israelites probably got the most failed marriages around. Most dysfunctional marriages, let me say that. There's no balance because there was no order established within the person who's supposed to have the balance. Proverbs 11:1. Somebody go somewhere else? I want these back. Come on.
That was for real.
11:1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1.
Come on.
A false balance is an abomination to Jehovah.
A false balance. This false image of what a man's supposed to be in Israel is making us unbalanced as a people. How you treat your woman, how you treat your children, the image that's put out there when you come into this truth is failing our people, and that's why we're in the same exact spot. Yeah, the numbers is growing, but the progress is still there. It's not there. Yeah, more brothers is in the street. More brothers is coming out the world, or are they? Or are we just slapping a title on ourselves now? I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Dan. What's next? What are you establishing by calling yourself that now? What are you doing to set yourself apart from everybody else? When you look at the Jewish people, they set themselves apart. You know exactly what business they got. When you go into LA Fitness, if you have been in the type of LA Fitness, they got a set apart gym for them. They're setting themselves apart, and the reason I'm on them is because we're so quick to say we're the chosen people. We're so quick to say we this and that, but we're not establishing anything to show that. We're not establishing tribalism within ourselves, man. First Timothy 3:5, and that's the problem. We have no order in Israel. And like I said, the problem is most of the men in Israel are getting raised up as soldiers and not family men. Right? You're not understanding how to take care of a marriage. And the first thing you need to be learning is how to raise a family. Because that was the establishment of Israel. Before there was an army, there was a family. That family turned into a nation. This is the basis of Israel, man. But we have seen and lost this because we think every brother that comes into the truth got to hit the street, man. No, I was talking to a brother before we left. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, yeah, man, man, I know. It's like he was trying to explain himself to me. Like, I know, man, I ain't been hitting the streets like that. Bro, you ain't got to hit the streets all the time, man. Your gift could be simply making a program to help the children. See, and that's the mentality we have, that if you don't hit the street, you ain't doing the work. And we hit the street. So understand where I'm coming from. I do it myself. But it's more to it than just the street, man. Because now you got the people coming in. Now you went to the street, hit the block every 5 days a week. Now what's next? What are you setting up that they won't go back into the world?
And how can the brethren judge his fruit if you can't look at his household?
You're right. You took the words right out of my mouth.
My bad.
No. Hallelujah. That's the Ruach movement. We right here. That's called being one mind, right? That's perfect. Say it again. Can you say that for me again?
How can men determine another man's fruit unless we look at his household? If you just, that's gangbangers. Gangbangers come out in order, you know, how well he treats his mama.
Right.
If he keeps his bedroom clean.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you just coming out. And you just coming out to do the work.
Right.
Right. But I don't know if you really, you know, how well you take care of your children, how well you provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is the instrument in which men measure each other.
Right.
It's how well their house is, how much order it is.
Exactly.
That's how men do it.
Because we're gonna read it. We're gonna read it. 1 Peter 3:5. I mean, First Timothy 3:5.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 5.
Come on.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the assembly of
Read,
Elohim?
read it again.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the assembly of Elohim?
So if you haven't even bear fruit in your own house, whether that's by yourself or with the family, how are you on the street teaching already? How can you be in such spiritual warfare when you haven't conquered the warfare within yourself? And this is the problem. This is why we have so much deluded congregations popping up out of nowhere in Israel. Now, I understand in certain situations happen where people have to do what they got to do, but that's not the case majority of the time, man. We have to stop instilling that the streets is the only way to the truth. That is just another access lane to the truth, but it's not the only way to the truth, man. Until we understand how to conquer and rule our own house, we'll never be able to thoroughly or righteously conquer the house of Yah in a righteous manner. Ever. So we have to stop pushing this until we can establish within ourselves righteousness. We can't just keep bringing people in like this and not showing them the right direction. This is why brothers go off to Kemet, back to Christianity. Because they come into something that's going to be structured and organized, and all they get is a bunch of people in garments yelling. And that's not always the case, man. There's a time and a place for everything. We got to start getting back to family first. Teaching women how to be women and not teaching women just how to be silent. Because that's a doctrine that go around. Teaching women how to be women and teaching them how to manage the house. How you going to teach a woman to be a woman if you're telling her to be quiet when the scripture says she got to teach? She got to teach the women and children. So how is it you telling a woman to be silent? And the problem with that is a lot of us come from broken homes with just our mama. We didn't have that strength in our house. So we feel like we have to obtain it within our woman. We feel like we have to establish some type of powerhood because the power we have was stripped from us our whole life. But you don't even have power within yourself to control your own lust. Control your own evil thoughts. The state of tribalism in Israel is at a fault right now. Not moving anywhere. Right? Because men don't know how to be men no more. We don't know how to raise men. And we think it's just the streets. But then he going to his house yelling like he's still on the street. Where's the teaching of self-control? Where's the teaching of self-evaluating that? We've lost it. We want to talk about the old writings and all that, but we never go back to the beginning where it was established, man. Sirach 27:3.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently
Come on.
in the fear of Jehovah.
In the what?
The fear of Jehovah.
Come on.
His house shall soon be overthrown.
Again, for if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the assembly of Elohim? The problem with a lot of our leaders and a lot of our elders is we're in Israel, we put these young brothers in these high esteemed positions that are not ready yet. Right? You think because the brothers can read scriptures out loud and maybe put a little lesson together, right? That he's fit to take a position that leads people? Come on, man. No. Why? Because like the elder said, the first established fruits is within his own house. how's brothers trying to bring people back into the flock when they're not even all the way there yet? Sirach 23:11. Have they truly understood what the fear of Yah is? And sometimes it takes people 10 years to figure out what the real fear of Yah is. Come on now.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 11.
And this is the characteristic of an unbalanced man. Come on.
A man that uses much swearing.
That uses what?
Much swearing.
What we hear on the street?
Cursing.
Yeah, a lot of it, don't we? Although I may be rude in speech, huh? Nah, I wouldn't talk about that. Come on.
Shall be filled with iniquity.
Shall be what?
Filled with iniquity.
Come on.
And the plague shall never depart from his house.
Because you didn't establish tribalism within your own house, and you're going out there fighting the spiritual warfare that you're not prepared for, you bring those things back into your house. Wait right there. When you're supposed to be the protection of the house, yet you go out vulnerable and bring those spirits back in your house. Because you didn't establish within yourself what it was to be a protector. But how you going to do that if you weren't taught how to even raise a family? If you weren't taught how to take care of responsibilities in the house? How are you going to even protect your family if you can't protect yourself from spiritual warfare? I'm going to read it again. The definition of tribalism is the state or fact of being organized, decently in order, right? The behavior and attitudes that stem from strong loyalty to one's own tribe or social group. Is your attitude and loyalty to Yah reflecting your tribe?
How can you love him you don't see him, not love the one you see every day?
Exactly. Like we just talking about, you have to start establishing a relationship with Yah. Because through your relationship with Yah, those who you're around, it starts manifesting in the same manner. Right? With your wife, with your children, right? With the brothers around you. Or if they not right and you in the right ruach, the ruach will push them away. That's the protection you get when you in the right mind of Yah. Right? That's that sense of fear of Yah. Understanding who governs your mind. Read that again.
Sirach 23, verse 11.
Come on.
A man that uses much swearing shall be filled with iniquity.
Shall be what?
Filled with iniquity.
Come on.
And the plague shall never depart from his house. If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him. And if he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense. And if he swear in vain, he shall not be innocent.
And how many of us do that, man? We do it so knowingly and unknowingly, it's ridiculous. And people really will put the title on, it's the Ruach moving me. It ain't my words, it's Yah's. But we look in the scriptures, brother, and it's not there. Come on, man. Sirach 4:30. So that's the characteristic of an unbalanced man, right? False balance is what? An abomination. It is the order that you have established within yourself and not a righteous upbringing, causing the fall or demise of your own house. This is a self-check for our brothers out there, man. We get on sisters so much. We get on sisters so much about what they do, not realizing that maybe they going the hell off because we going the hell off. We so quick to blame sisters for our own issues, man. And the sisters ain't off the hook at all. But the fact is, brothers is pulling the Adam. Oh, she gave it to me. No, brother, you took it.
Yeah. Say, a husband, the light that a husband reflects, his wife is supposed to reflect it. Or the light that the husband puts out.
She's a reflection of his righteousness.
Right. So if she's not, quote unquote, acting right, like you just said,
right,
the husband needs to look at what he's pushing out for her to reflect.
And not to say that women don't go off, because they do. But it's about taking the responsibility of why. I think we just talking about that, right? Sometimes you don't do things, right? Sometimes people do things to you, and you like, well, they did it. Well, what happened to the point that you got set up in that position you were? How did you get in that position? Right? Well, what made your woman talk to you like that? What made her feel comfortable to throw your stuff out the house? Was the law set in place righteously when y'all started courting? Or did y'all even court? We have to be honest with ourselves. We make mistakes. We all make, in this room, we made mistakes. We learn from it. That don't mean you don't tell the truth about it, though. See, that's the problem. A lot of us is more Christianized than we think. Oh, you can't tell me about myself. Well, the law say I can. The word say I can. As long as I'm not in the same sin as you, and I'm just trying to help you out of love, I can definitely correct you. But that's the problem with us today, man. You got this Sirach 4:30 for me?
Yeah.
Come on.
Sirach chapter 4, verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house.
Be not what?
As a lion in thy house.
Come on.
Nor frantic among thy servants.
What does frantic mean?
Like hostile.
Hostile. You just want to be distraught all the time. You causing misery in your house. No shalom at all. It told you, be not as a lion in your house. But how you gonna understand that if your first thought of what a man is to be is on the street yelling? And let me make this very clear. I'm not going against street teaching, but it's a certain matter you need to be at before you even go out there. You have to be at a certain level in your mental and your spiritual to go out there. You ever heard the saying, don't bring work home? That's what a lot of us do, man. You out of order, sis. Be quiet in the church. Brother, you at home. I done seen it on Facebook. Brother made a post asking a question at that. Sister comment, he put the scripture, women shall be silent in the church. Brother, this is Facebook. But that's that pride that's been established because from the birth of when they came into this truth, it was very disorderly and out of order. They don't really teach you how to treat your woman. They teach you a king, you're a lord over her. She got to do everything in subjection to you. Right? Where's the balance, though? Yeah, all that is cool and all that is true, but where's the balance, man? We got to start bringing reality to the scripture. We got to start bringing, and a lot of that, I'm going to tell you the truth is, a lot of the reason brothers be doing that because when they was in the world, women was ruling over them. So now they got the word behind their back. So the word is their resource of why they can go the hell off now on their woman.
Right. Go to a whole nother extreme.
Oh yeah. Now they can go the hell off on their women. Nah, brother. You just wasn't taught the proper way how to be a man. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And sometimes we just got to be real with ourselves to be able to unlearn and relearn. I had to do it. It ain't to say what I was taught is wrong, but I had to figure out a way to do it in a righteous manner. So now I understand how to talk to people on the street, how to reason with them, right? How to understand their thought process, rather than saying, "Oh, you got to repent, you got to keep the commandments, law, statutes, commandments, and that's it. If you don't, you're gonna burn in the hell, lake of fire." Now I understand. You gotta listen and see where they come from. You gotta understand their background. You gotta reason with them, and you gotta understand how to articulate the word on a level that they understand. You telling them to keep the commandments, or you going to hell, is not establishing order. It's not establishing an understanding of Yah, because you gotta understand you're dealing with 400 years of mental oppression. Straight up. Sirach 3 and 9. This is how a man really establishes his fruit. Sirach 3 and 9.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 9.
Come on.
For the blessing of the father established the houses of children.
Come on.
But the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations.
A man's name, right? The scripture tell you, a man shall be known by his children. A man shall be known by his children. You have to first get your house in order. You have to first get tribalism in order within your house before establishing tribalism within your nation. And we are far-fetched from that. And we have lost sight of it. So let's get an example of a great man, our forefather, Abraham. Genesis 12. Genesis 12.
Right here?
Starting at 1?
Yeah.
Exactly which verse?
Yeah, start at 1.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12, starting in verse 1.
Come on.
Now Jehovah had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation,
Right.
and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram...
So it started where? With who?
Abraham.
And what does Abram mean?
Father.
The father of all nations, right? The father, the man. Through the man shall the blessings of the house be established. You understand that? So the first thing Abraham had to realize is he had to have what? The fear of Yah. But he had to have the fear of Yah to establish his faith. They tell you in Sirach, the fear of Yah is the beginning of his love. Come on. So he had to understand the fear of Yah before establishing anything for his family. Right? Examine thyself before trying to deal with the sheep of Yah, man. Because you're going to play yourself at the end. If you're not there, you're going to play yourself. And you're going to compromise the lives of those you're trying to infiltrate. Come on.
Verse 4. So Abram departed as Jehovah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance, and they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came.
Right.
And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, onto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanites, the Canaanite was then in the land.
So before he even got what was promised to him, he had to first what? Fear of Yah. Examine himself of what's about to happen. And he had to observe. See, we don't get everything that we want at the drop of a dime. We have to first observe it. And then after we observe, we have to analyze how is this going to happen. And then we set a plan in place on what's going to happen once we get it. So Moreh Noriyahu posed the question of, if we got next, what are we establishing, right? What are we establishing right now to set up the kingdom? Right? In the words of Elder Asa, there has to be tangible evidence of progress. And besides the amount of people who have come into the truth, is there any tangible progress since the 60s? we set up any establishment as a nation? Any safe havens? Any programs that help single moms? How many of us out there are feeding the homeless? Did he not tell us to go feed his flock?
Can I add?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I know that there is some Israelites that do things like go to the prisons and got food banks, but the church does that. Right?
Yep.
They got their 401, they was 401 schedules, was it 401c?
Yeah,
501c, I'm sorry, 501c. And they get government funding and assistance and allotments to get access, and that's cool. But we're talking about nation building and tribalism, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about where people can literally, independently survive by networking one with another. Through that ability to form tribes and relationships through that tribe, right? So, I think when we're talking about building these things, are you just building another religious institution until Mashiach comes, or are you really laying down a real institution within the divisions of your camp, congregation, or whatever it is?
Right.
Are you really setting up continued provision? Right? I'm not talking about going to go to a food bank,
Right.
get a whole bunch of food, and then you got to go back next week. That's cool. But I'm talking about setting up industry, institution. Those things will make you a tribe, thus becoming a nation.
Hallelujah. And that's the truth. I mean, think about how many people, once they get people, they ask people, what are their gifts? What is the gift that you're going to contribute to our cause? A lot of people don't ask that because all they want is a body to fill it. Because it's not bearing fruit. People oftentimes not bearing fruit is the people, and when they bear fruit, that truly bears your fruit. You instilling in them, they're going to show through their works what you've taught them. But if they're doing the same thing you've been doing, how are you making a difference? What tribalism are you establishing within your little body? Right? Let's keep reading.
Verse 7. And Jehovah appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Jehovah, who appeared unto him.
Right.
And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Jehovah, and called upon the name of Jehovah. And Abram journeyed going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Mizraim to sojourn there.
Right.
For the famine was grievous in the land.
Keep going.
And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Mizraim, that he said unto Sarai, his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon.
Now we have to understand, in the context of just a woman or a man, we have to work together. How are we going to, what are we going to work together on that's going to establish something for the greater good, right? Do we have faith in one another to help each other lead each other? Right? As a nation, we don't. Right? It should be thousands upon thousands at each and every event. Besides, we got financial problems, but it should be thousands of us at each event. If we truly support each other, if we truly have faith, we should be at every event. We should be supporting every single business that's within our community. I asked this question a couple weeks ago. How many of us have supported at least one or two businesses in our community? Right? A lot of people will have zero. They haven't supported anything, yet we want to say we Hebrew Israelites, we Hebrews. Last time I checked, Hebrew Israelite was a nation, not a small group. Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Mitzrayim shall see thee, they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may well be for me, for my sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. Mm. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Mitzrayim.
Stop right there. Give me, when y'all give me Sirach 29 and 10. Sirach 29 and 10. Sirach 29 and 10.
Sirach 29 and 10.
Come on.
Loose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under the stone to be lost.
We have to be able to sacrifice for each other at the drop of a dime. And that's what he was asking his wife. Listen, we ain't in a perfect position, but we want to establish, we need to establish, I need you to just trust me in what I'm doing. I need you to do what I ask you to do, so we can get past this moment and establish something very great. Okay? Right? So it said, loose thy money for thy friend and thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. You shouldn't be holding back nothing from your, if they truly your brother and your friend, you shouldn't be holding nothing back from them. You do what's in your will to do. Okay? Now let's get back to Genesis. Yeah.
Verse 14. And it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Mitzrayim, he beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commanded her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into the Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen and asses and manservants and maidservants and she-asses and camels. And Jehovah plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go thy way. Mm. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, that they sent him away and his wife and all that they had. And Abram went up out of Mitzrayim, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle and in silver and in gold.
You gotta understand this, man. When it's time to establish something, you go through something called what? Growing pains. And today we fear growing pains because it may go against our own will and actually serve the purpose of the greater good for our people. But you see as an example of Abraham and his wife, through trusting in one another, through trusting and fearing Yah, they got through the situation and was blessed abundantly. So just imagine when it comes to the children of Israel in today's time. If we just put everything down and say, brother, sister, let's come together and figure this thing out, how much more we can be blessed, y'all? How many of y'all would just put down whatever feast day you got and say, I'm going to come to your feast day, and we're going to break bread the day that y'all have observed, right? We don't be trying to understand each other, man. That's a problem in our community. We choose not to try to understand each other. Because choosing to understand each other meaning you may get cut on your doctrine. Y'all have to reason. The scriptures say we have to reason. A lot of us run from it rather than face it. And that's what you see here going on with Abraham. They faced their reason. They faced what had to happen. Abraham knew if they found out that was his wife, he was going to get killed. She knew if she didn't play her role, he was going to get killed. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And with loving each other comes trust. Okay? All right, keep going.
Genesis chapter 13, verse 3. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, onto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai,
Right.
onto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called upon the name of Jehovah. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was so great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle.
Now let's paint this picture, right? You got a well-known teacher in Israel, right? Got many flocks, many sheep with him, right? With many different gifts. You got another high teacher in Israel. Got the same thing. Now you come to this point where it's so much that clearly who I have and what I have can't handle what you got. So now in this, we have to establish something. Something has to be established where we can work together. Now understand, that whole part of that land was for who? Abraham and Lot. And you're going to read as you go, Abraham came to a choice of compromise and say, look, bro, you got a great people, I got a great people, you got a great abundance of things, I got a great abundance of things. How about this? You take that side, I take this side, we meet in the middle, we good. Too many of us are so puffed up in pride that we don't want to put, we want too much. Right? But we can't handle the responsibility of it. So what happened was, Abraham used discernment, right? It says the great teacher knows how to discern what? Good and evil. Good and bad. So Abraham came to himself and said, listen, man, I know this ain't going to work out like this. You got a lot to lose, I got a lot to lose. We got to come to an agreement somewhere. Let's keep reading.
I'll start again at verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Kenite and the Perizim dwell in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife. I pray thee between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren.
For we be what?
Brethren.
Come on, we all brothers in this thing, man. We are all brothers in this. We have to start back. Setting the standard straight, man. It's establishing tribalism. I'm going to read it again. The definition of tribalism is the state or fact of being organized in a tribe or tribes. We have to be organized within each other, man. We so caught up on the names and camp, congregation, assembly, whatever the case is, and it's not so. Israel's not a camp. Israel's a nation. Camp itself means army, and a nation is more parts than just the army. You got your politics, right? You got your industry. You got your agriculture. And you have your army. Camp, right? Let me go back. I wasn't even going to bring this up. I'm going to bring it out. Camp. H4264. The Hebrew word for camp is manakana. Stems from the root kana. The word means encampment of travel, an army, battle, camp, or company. By that definition of what a camp is, are we a camp? Huh? By definition of what a camp is, are we a camp? No, we are a nation. Camp is nothing but an army. And an army can't lead itself. Every army in the world is led by politics of people of a higher stature, of understanding leadership. So this whole thing, Israel's a camp. It's not a camp. Israel's a nation that has a camp within itself. This is the thing we keep pushing to our young man. Camp. No, we're a nation. We need to put that. Nation of Israel. That's what we are. with different parts of the body. Everybody can't go out on the street. Half the brothers can't even rule their own house. We got to get back to establishing order, brotherhood, and decency, man. I'm going to drop that. Give me Sirach 6 and 7, man. So what pretty much happened, to summarize it, is Abraham like, listen, bro, you got that part, I got this part, we good. We can meet in the middle. That's it. We ain't about to sit here and try to argue about who got this part, you got this part. Okay, you don't want that part, then I'll take that part. You just go over here, but let's establish some order within each other so we can be good and blessed, right?
And to be honest, Lot was attacking Lord. He really wasn't. Wasn't getting none of it. So Abraham was being very, very
humble. He humbled himself to somebody younger than him.
To his kinsman, to his younger kinsman.
Exactly. And a lot of us won't humble ourselves like that. We'll say it's mine, because we are broken people. Everything been taken from us. It's mine, it's my camp. If the name got Israel on it, it ain't your camp. It's Yah's camp. You just happen to be the shepherd he allows to lead him, if you so do it correctly. Right? So let's just get this established, man. Sirach 6-7. The problem is this, man. A lot of us are so quick to be a part of a group or be a leader of a group, we have forgotten how to court each other. We have forgotten how to prove each other. How can I sit on the street prophesying or teaching the word next to a brother I really don't know? How do I know you don't got demons on you coming out there with me? Y'all get me? Everything is a process. Everything is a courtship. Even with brothers. Brothers got to court each other. And not in that aspect of a woman, of course, for the simple. But we have to learn how to court each other. Meaning we have to prove each other, understand each other. What do you like? What do you dislike? What is your gift? Where are you lacking at? Where can I help? Because at that moment, when you understand a person like that, y'all become one, right? We become one. Sirach 6 and 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
If thou wouldest get a friend,
right,
prove him first.
Do what?
Prove him first.
Come on, man.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Be not hasty. And that's what a lot of us do. We hear somebody got a big name. Oh, brother, you doing some good stuff. Brother, you excellent. But you don't know that brother from what they say, Adam? You don't know that brother from Adam. You see him on YouTube. He got millions of views. Whatever the case is. But does that make him a good person? Christians use the word. Shaitan know the word. Because somebody know precepts and can pull a precept out and all that, that don't mean everybody's good. Not to say that's not good. That's a good part to have, but it has to be more established before you call somebody good. And that's another part. We don't know how to protect and prove people no more, man. That's what a tribe does. I know in some African tribes, for you to even come close to their camp, right? Their people, some people you gotta wrestle and fight. You gotta prove yourself as a man before even entering into their house. You got some cases people gotta dance. You gotta go through certain obstacles. But in every tribe, there's always a process. You have to prove somebody before letting them enter into what you consider dear to you. We're too quick to underprotect and overuse the word, yo. Too quick. Jump down to 17.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 17.
Come on.
Whoso feareth Jehovah
Come on.
shall direct his friendship aright.
Say it again.
Whoso feareth Jehovah shall direct his friendship aright.
Mm-hmm.
For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
And that's how it should be. If I'm following the word, right, and I'm out like today, we went to go serve the people food, right? I expect you to do the same thing and have the same heart. If you want to establish a men's program, right, to teach the youth, I should be able to say, yo, what can I do to assist you on that journey? Because we have the same common goal, which is what? To bring the sheep back to the house and receive the kingdom. But we ain't going to receive it. We have not established tribalism and how to protect our house. Right? Sirach 29:10.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 29, verse 10.
Come on.
Lose thy money for thy brother.
Come on.
And thy friend.
Come on.
And let it not rust under a stone to be lost.
Are you willing to sacrifice to be a better man? Are you willing to sacrifice for the tribe's sake? See, this is bigger than us, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. You don't have a gift to keep it to yourself. Honestly, you don't even have a gift that you're supposed to give to the world until you establish it within your tribes. Right? Because once we go to the world, we should be establishing this together as a nation.
Hey, giving up your national treasures.
Mm-hmm. But we so quick to do for ourselves and want to take the spotlight and want to do this. It's mine. I created this. You ain't created nothing. It was by the will of Yah and the gift he gave you that created that, man. Everything we have on this earth is not ours. It was given to us. You ain't take nothing. We received it. You just had to work to earn it. That's it. Before we try to deal with the world, we have to deal with ourselves first, man. And until we get back to establishing tribalism, we would never be able to obtain or order or right the world. If that makes sense. So let's get an example. Acts 2:38. So even before we get back to any tribalism, we gotta learn how to court. We gotta learn how to prove each other, right? And gathering is good, right? Gathering is fine. But after you gather, what's next? What's the next step to becoming a nation? How are we about to help each other after this? Are we going to continue to gather and say this is nation building? That's a piece of nation building, but it's not the whole pie. That's like 5% of what it takes to be a nation. Gathering is only 5%. And we do a lot of gathering in Israel. But what is being established after we gather? Come on, let's get an example of what establishing. Yeah, let's get an example of what establishing nationhood is.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 38.
Come on.
Then Kepha, or Peter, said unto them, Repent and be immersed, every one of you, in the name of Yehoshua HaMashiach.
Let go of the world. When you let go of the world, you got to let it go. Come on.
For the remission of sins, and ye shall receive gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
For the promise is unto you, and to your children, and to all that are afar off, even as many as Elohim shall call. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, Save yourselves from this untoward generation.
So for those who do want to establish tribalism and truly come together, you gotta watch yourself from this untoward generation. Untoward means backwards. You're digressing rather than progressing. So now, for those who are in the ruach of coming together and establishing tribalism and nationhood, you have to now start putting the pieces where they need to be. You have to identify those who are about nationhood and those who are about religious congregations. And it's very evident within our nation. But it got to start somewhere. You can't be fearful of what people think, man. You're going to be different. Understand the world persecuted you and persecuted me first. That's what the Mashiach said. And he was talking about Israel. People are not going to like this within our nation, us coming together and trying to establish nation. They're not. Because it goes against their belief system, man. It goes against what they truly feel it should be like. Whether they believe in Mashiach or not, they all are Pharisaic, if you ask me. If you have a problem with nation building, if you have a problem with coming together, if you have a problem doing more than just gathering, you have a Pharisaic problem. Let's keep reading.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 40. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, Save yourselves from this toward generation. Then they that gladly received his word were immersed. And the same day they were added unto them about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in breaking of bread and in prayers.
Watch this.
And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles.
Come on.
And all that believed were together, and had all things common.
It had all what?
All things common.
Had what in common?
All things.
All things. All things. You ain't got to worry about separating the wheat from the tares. That ain't your job. Your job is just to try to link with the wheat. If people are not about nation building, I'm telling you now, you might as well get away from it. Because their mind is somewhere else, not of Yah. We have to stop being fearful of man and being fearful of Yah. Gathering on all these events is cool, it's great, I love it. But what's next? What's next? Where do we go from here? What do we establish? What is tangible for us to start growing and being a nation? Like I said, one tangible evidence is the brothers at Land Harvest. They're opening up to those who actually want to build a nation by not only teaching people agriculture, but allowing them to put their hand on the plow to help out. See, we think helping out is always giving money. It's not. It's not. If you're teaching me how to be self-sufficient and make my own food and not rely on anybody to the point that if the system shut down, I don't have to worry about it, then that's more greater than money to me. That's more greater than money. Right. But see, we don't see that because we so caught on materialistic things. We so caught up on money. Oh, I can't do that if I ain't getting paid. Brother, if you could work a 9 to 5, you can do free labor that's going to teach you a trade that's going to help you for the rest of your life. Flat out. Let's keep going.
Book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 45. We'll start at 44. And all that believed were together and had all things common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men, as every man had need. And they continuing daily with one accord.
With what?
One accord.
Come on.
In the temple, and breaking bread from house to house.
From what? House to house. How many Israelite congregations is it in one city? Too many. It needs to just be one. If we call ourselves a nation of people, we have to reason together and come to some common ground, some median, some balance, and say, okay, yeah, you may believe in that, I may believe in this, but the common ground between us is this. We're trying to be a nation. Keep the law, statutes, commandments, keep the faith in Yah and His only begotten Son. After anything outside of that, it don't matter. Listen, it's us. Let's establish something. Just like you said a lot. He was a tag along. Yet Abraham, for the better good of the nation that was to come, he said, look, bro, you can go over here, I go over here. Even though this is supposed to be mine all the way. I'm that humble, and I see the picture so clear that I'm willing to give you what's actually mine so I can see the greater good of my people. We're a lost generation, man. And this gonna hurt people's feelings, but need to hurt deep. We need to get cut. Like honestly, if we bring all the elders together, all the leaders together and say, everybody drop their name. Let's come together as a nation. We're going to choose 70 elders. We're going to choose 70 elders, maybe 3 leaders. How many of y'all really think they were going to drop? And that's how you know a man heart. How much are you going to put, or how much are you willing to put your pride away for the better good of the nation? Or the excuse to be, oh, we'll just wait till the Mashiach come back to establish order. First, you have to set up something that looks like he's coming back. Something has to be shown and established that it looks like he's coming back. Because every time you go through the scriptures in each captivity, something was being set up, something was happening to the people that identified that something's about to change in the atmosphere. What are we doing to make it look like something's about to happen? And this, the apostles gave us the greatest example, man. Broke bread with everybody. Everybody's equal, man. Everybody's on the same level. We just trying to get out of this place. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's finish that up.
Verse 46. And they continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising Elohim and having favor with all the people. And Adonai added to the assembly daily such as should be saved.
Hallelujah, man. And that's what happens when we come together, y'all. Praise is getting raised up. Everybody's happy. Nobody's feel like they're a weaker vessel. Even if they are. The spirit was so great upon them, everybody felt the same, man. And it's not that same vibe within our nation, not that same vibration. Because we're thinking too much of ourselves in this life. I'm going to show y'all what happens when we come together and we establish order and we establish tribalism in ourselves. This is what happens. Acts 4:31. Acts 4:31.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 31. And when they had prayed, the place was shaken when they were.
Look at the power of that. When we come together, and I'm telling y'all, when we establish tribalism, bro, we establish power. When we establish order, we establish power. That's why they had to break us up. That's why they had to divide us, because us together, we were a problem to the other nations, man. We were a problem. And we don't realize we're only carrying out their same plan when we divide within ourselves. How many are willing to put the title down for the betterment of the nation? How many of y'all are willing to split your power up amongst those around you with great leadership to establish a nation? And the thing is, it be your favorite teachers with this mindset, man. We just gonna call it what it is. It be your favorite teachers with this mindset that don't want to let go of the power they got. If Abraham could do it, you could do it. Read that again, please.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 31.
Come on.
And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together.
Right.
And they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh.
They were all filled. Not one man over another. They was all filled with it. Come on.
And they spake the word of Elohim with boldness.
Right.
And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart.
One heart.
And of one soul.
And of one soul. Come on.
Neither said any of them that out of the things which he possessed was his own.
Come on. Look. Can we establish some tribalism here, man? People say, well, we had camps and we had this in the time of Moses. Guess what, Negro? They was by themselves. All they had was themselves. What we looking at here, bro, we was going through it. It was people over, the Gentiles over. So we had to establish some type of unity with each other. Not usurping each other. And that's the time we in today. These lessons, these examples of our forefathers and forebrothers are examples on how we need to be. We have to stop trying to fit the scripture in our time and just look at the scripture and how it relates to our time. A lot of things that happened during the time of Moshe is not going to be set in place. So we have to look at the last place where something was established, something tangible was established that helped us grow, which was the apostles. We're in a place of servitude. We're not in the kingdomship. We're not even in the priesthood. We're in unity. We still trying to figure it out. Majority of us can't even link what tribe we really from. So how are you going to establish where you from? Or what position you need to fill? Just straight up. Honest. We have to stop trying to do our own thing and let Yah move how he needs to move, man. First Corinthians 12. And we're going to be done. Start at 1.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, starting in verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols. So we understand we was Gentiles in the world. Therefore, we got to be different than the world now that we come into this walk. Come on. Even as you were led. Wherefore, I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Ruach of Elohim calleth Yehoshua accursed. And that no man can say that Yehoshua is Adonai, but by the Ruach HaKodesh.
Come on.
Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Ruach. And there are differences of administration, but the same Adonai.
Come on.
And there are diversities of operations.
So there's our diversity of operations. Everybody can't teach on the street. Everybody's not a teacher. Everybody's not a lawyer. Everybody's just not fit for a leadership position. So we have to allow people by getting to know them and proving them where they fit in, rather than trying to put every brother who come into the truth on the street. And this is how we create chaos and false doctrine, by putting people who ain't ready or not meant to be out there. Prove that brother first by seeing how he runs his own house. And establish some type of relationship so you understand where to put the brother. This is how we establish the state of tribalism. By putting people where they need to be and where they fit at. Period. Let's go on.
Verse 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same Elohim which worketh in all. But the manifestation of the Ruach is given to every man to profit.
Given to what?
Given to profit with all.
Hold on. So we went through 5 verses that said it was going to be different gifts, different operations, right? It's going to be different administrations, yet we all will profit the same thing. From the same Lord. So how is it that the only way to truly do work is the streets? Come on. Let's go.
Verse 8. For to one is given by the Ruach the word of wisdom.
Come on.
To another the word of knowledge by the same Ruach. To another faith by the same Ruach.
Right.
And to another the gifts of healing.
The gifts of what?
Of healing.
Come on now. Now we know that we ain't seen that yet on the street. We ain't seen that yet. We ain't seen not one brother heal anybody. And we ain't talking about spookism either. We got to start really looking at this thing, man. Because we put people in places and out of order what the Creator's plan. Not knowing you're part of the destruction when you do that. Let's keep going.
Verse 10. To another the working of miracles. To another prophecy. To another discerning of spirits. And to another divers kings of tongues. To another the interpretation of tongues.
Come on.
But all these worketh that one, and the self same Ruach.
All these worketh at one. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You get the same outcome when you're in the Ruach. No matter if you can speak different languages, no matter if you can teach, no matter if you can heal, no matter if you're doing herbs, it's all the same thing that prospers one goal, which is what? To heal and build the body of Yah. That's it. That's it. Everybody's not a counselor. Everybody, no matter the age, is not an elder.
Everybody that's old don't want to be elder.
Here you go. Let's keep going.
Was I verse 12?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. For as the body is one, and have many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Mashiach. For by one Ruach are we all immersed into the one body.
Oh, you gonna like this next one? Come on.
Whether we be Judah or Gentiles,
Or who?
Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Ruach.
Come on.
For the body is not one member, but many.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. And this is how you establish tribalism. By putting people in the places that they need to be put according to Yah's plan. Improving people. Everybody is not a friend. Every friend ain't a family member. Every family member ain't a friend. We have to get back to establishing tribalism, because through tribalism, we start truly making ourselves a national nation. Right? So all praise to the Most High. With that, we open the floor for any questions or concerns. And all praise to the Most High, man. Hallelujah. Any questions? Any questions? Comments? Hallelujah. All right, so with that, we say Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel, from Makab Maku Ministries. May the Most High continue to bless you and cover you on this holy Shabbat, and let's continue to seek the kingdom, His voice, and His face. Hallelujah.